Hey, what's good, everybody? This is your boy Bernard back again with GETV. We are here right in the heart of South LA, here at LA Native off of Crenshaw Boulevard. Let's go check it out.
Hi, I'm Odessa, the owner of LA Native. This is our shop where people can come and get a little piece of pride and a keepsake and take a little piece of LA home with them. I am a little bit of a fighter, of course, because I'm from LA. And when people were talking crazy about LA and people from LA are so fake and all of this, and I was like, you don't know anyone from LA. I've always made things I've always made LA apparel, but I wanted something that said LA Native. And so once you see it, you know, like, I'm from here, I'm one of the locals, get to know us, and you'll find out just how real we are.
So how long have you been in business, and why did you decide to go with the theme of LA Native?
So I've been in business over 25 years. I was a women's boutique at first, and then during the pandemic, everything changed and we pivoted, and then the aftermath of the pandemic, it just took us out. And with the doom scrolling, I had already created LA Native for my Nobody Jones boutique, but this was just my happy place. I love being from LA, I love LA, I love the city, I love the vibe, I love the people. There's so much history here. There's so much history being made. And I said, I have to do something to combat the narrative. I have to do something to bring people together. I saw it during the pandemic, and then later there were the fires. I had already started this, but then there were the fires, and it was like, we come together when we need to. And it's a real hometown. And so I said, this is my happy place right now. So it's LA Native all the way. In Oakland, so Bay is like my second home.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to maybe talk about your pieces here.
This shirt is special to me because I didn't know the Birds of Paradise was the official flower of Los Angeles, but it was everywhere. And so when customers come in, they're like, oh, we have this in front of our house, we have it on the side of our house, or it was my mother's favorite flower. And so I was like, I have to incorporate the Bird of Paradise. And then as we're getting to know the history of Los Angeles, there are LA natives that really put their stamp on Los Angeles. So this is Paul Revere Williams' signature here, who was one of the premier architects of Los Angeles. He did the Saks building. That's his handwriting on the Beverly Hills Hotel. And then he was also part of the dream team that came up with the Encounter at LAX. So every time you leave and you come home, this is the building that you see when you land and take off. For me, I'm actually from the 90s, like I came of age in the 90s. And so on Sundays, we would cruise Crenshaw on Sunday nights. And so that's where the lowrider culture comes in for me. Like I said before, I'm somewhat of a fighter. And so the city tried to shut down Crenshaw, so then we started going through the back streets. Then they shut that down, so then we started cruising on Saturdays. Then they figured out they couldn't stop us, so then we went back and started cruising on Sunday nights again. And so that was just a real, like, powerful moment of people coming together and fighting. And we were young and there wasn't that much to do, so yeah, we were cruising on Crenshaw. And so lowriders have a very special place in my heart. Fred Siegel was one of the staples in Los Angeles for fashion. I actually went to FIDM. I had a women's retail boutique that was very popular and actually changed the way South Los Angeles did fashion for many years. And so I wanted to pay homage to like one of the LA fashion staples. So there's a lot of things in here that are very personalized specifically to Los Angeles and to my experience growing up in LA. Now we have Metro, which I'm super excited about, because one of the reasons we have so much smog is because there were large companies that didn't want us to have public transportation. And I spent a lot of time in the Bay, and so I know how much BART means and how much you can move around the city. And there's just less pollution with being able to have public transit. So this is the RTD and the 7 bus. This is the big blue bus that runs up and down Pico and can take you all the way to the beach. These were buses that we all took growing up. And so this was like my nostalgic piece. We also have a lot of things that go on here. You know, we're the land of the hippies. And since the president wants to change names, I said, I'm going to change names too. So I decided to change Baldwin Hills to Baldwin Hills after James Baldwin. And this more reflects the community that's here in Baldwin Hills now. Sometimes we're X'd out of the history, and I saw these little books at Savon's or CBS, whatever it's called now, and they were telling the history of LA, but it stopped at one point and it didn't really include any of the diversity. And so LA is a big Cobb salad, and we have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and we mix and make good things. So I wanted to bring in some history, bring in some nostalgia, bring in some fun things. Like, everyone's from here, everyone here is not from here. So we also did like I Love LA, but a different take on it. We don't want you to have fast fashion or throwaway fashion. We want you to have a shirt that you'll put in your closet and then put on your body over and over again, versus wearing it once and throwing it out, or just keeping it in the bottom drawer. So that is LA native. And then we'll be able to support other people. Like, I have a friend who, she just survived breast cancer, so we did this shirt. This is, proceeds are going towards helping families who are battling cancer, because sometimes they need help with bills or rides or things for their kids, because it's a huge undertaking to fight cancer. So we did our own little spin on that, and we're just going to continue to support the neighborhood and do things that make people feel good and feel proud and feel connected. I vendored all over the city, and hearing the stories from people was just amazing. Like, oh, what this meant to, he was an older gentleman, and his father had proposed to his mother at the encounter. And so that was, and he walked around the Marina Market, the farmer's market, until he found this picture of him and his grandmother in front of the encounter and brought it back. And so I love that when you're out and about, people see you wearing an LA native shirt, and they're like, oh, you're from LA, I'm from LA, what part are you from? Like, how long has your family been here? Some are first generation, some are fifth generation. Like, we've been here. The stories are just amazing, and the connections are even better.
So I do have a question. I noticed you have a very certain color palette here.
Yes.
So I noticed lots of natural colors, and then we also have some very kind of like Easter-like type of colors. Maybe if you want to.
Yeah. It depends. We do add colors in for the change of the seasons and for what's going on the runways. I do have a fashion background in ready to wear, so I still like to stay current with high fashion, and I love color. I think color makes you happy. I think it's luxury to have a color in your closet, to have color in your closet and your wardrobe, because everyone can afford the basics. Everyone can match the basics. But when you're able to step out of the box and wear something that's vibrant, it really speaks to the investment that you've made in your collection.
So I have a last question about that map of LA there.
Yes.
So what do the different colors mean on the map?
The different colors are just different areas. It doesn't have any specific, LA is not specifically green in this neighborhood.
Did you design this?
I did not design this. These are actually shower curtain. It's a shower curtain that I thought would be perfect for the shop as my fitting room curtains. And so I split it and made the curtains out of it. So yeah, ingenuity.
Awesome.
And then here there are a few pieces. One of my friends makes these upcycled shirts, have a Monet, and we want to be included in sustainability. And part of sustainability is not just the upcycling, but is the quality of the goods. So like I said, it's not fast fashion. It's not something that you just throw away. These become your favorite t-shirts. These become your favorite sweatshirts. These become a part of your collections.
So what are your next steps? I know you mentioned earlier when we had our conversation about bringing in more types of souvenirs and memorabilia.
Yes. So we are working with some local artisans to create memorabilia that you can take home with you and have a little piece of art, whether it's a specific kind of cut. I don't want to go into it and give too much away, but homewares, things for your home, things for your car. There's different things that you'll be able to have a little piece of LA with you always.
So one last question. You've been doing this for quite some time now. I'm sure there's a lot of young women or just people of color just looking up and seeing that you've been able to do this and be successful. What advice do you have for folks that want to get into this type of business, and how do you overcome any of the challenges you've encountered?
I would say don't be afraid to start small. Definitely follow what your dream, like the rule of thumb is, if you like it, someone else will like it too. If you love it, someone else will love it too. So try not to go into something, because this person is doing this, I'm going to do this. No, do exactly what it is you want to bring new to whatever it is that you're doing. If it's t-shirt, make sure it's something new and it's not just the same run-of-the-mill thing. I always advise people to get out there and do like the farmers markets, do Fairfax Melrose swap meet at Fairfax High School, because you get the feedback with the least amount of investment, and you want to make all your mistakes small. You don't want to end up, selling 1,000 shirts to Ross because you overproduced something that people weren't ready for, or there was a mistake. So get all your mistakes out early. Don't take it personal. Just and continue to create and continue to experiment, and don't be afraid, because people say, oh, you're mixing these colors, and it's like, yeah, because I think they look good together, and if I like it, someone else will like it too.
So there's another thing that came to my mind. I know I said one last thing, but
okay.
you are in the heart of LA, the heart of Black LA, and there's a lot of things going on with construction, infrastructure, especially as we head towards the Olympics.
Right.
This year we have the World Cup, but then next year we have the Super Bowl and then the Olympics. How have you seen the community transform and respond to these changes? And what are your overall thoughts on how the community can continue to prosper despite all the changes?
So with all the changes, I think people have to understand that we are a part of the change as well. We are experiencing a renaissance in Leimert Park. So a lot of people from the neighborhood and from the community are reinvesting in the community. I was one of the people who started in 2003 when I opened up my boutique on 48th and Crenshaw. People thought I was crazy, especially with the type of clothing that I was carrying, but I was there for over 10 years, and it was a beautiful thing. And so I think that we're just flourishing with the changes. One of the unique challenges is we need to let people know that the neighborhood has gone through changes in a positive direction, even though it's a lot of the same people. It's not a lot of the same problems. So between rap songs and some of the movies, people have a bad connotation of what South Los Angeles is. And I think that people need to come out and experience the real and say, oh, okay, this is why she opened up over here. Because as I said, I was vending all over the city, and so there's people on the very far west that probably don't want to come this far south or east, and it's not an issue. And I think that's what I would love for people to understand. It's not an issue. If I can go to Hollywood and I can go to Santa Monica, I can go to Leimert just as easy. And so
it's like even going off Crenshaw and going to Earl's, which I'll be going to this Saturday to do some stuff with him. Just being able to see like the lowriders that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'm West Coast culture all the way, but this is like the epitome of West Coast culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you still
do
some stuff with Sunday Fun Days yourself?
I do. Well, I partake in it. I go to
So you got your
Park.
own You got your own whip. You got your own lowrider.
No. It's funny. In high school, I had a Scamp, a Plymouth Scamp that looked like a lowrider with white walls and everything. But no, now I have a mommy car.
Okay. That you just come by and support and say what's up to.
Yes, I come by and support. I go to the car shows. There's one that happens in Inglewood. That is coming up in Latino Heritage Month.
So it's not an all the time thing. It's during these seasonal types of celebrations. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So Sundays on and I want to say it's only the first Sundays on Crenshaw now. It's not like weekly. It's not what it used to be. But you still, it's so part of the nature, part of the neighborhood. So you still see lowriders on a daily basis. Yeah. And then I'm next to a barbershop, and there's a few that pull up here, and then it's just.
I remember seeing the motorcycles the other week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
there's so many clubs. There's so many car clubs, motorcycle clubs. There's the Rough Riders motorcycle club in the area, and so they're always doing different rides, and people coming out from different parts of California and other states, and they get together and they do these big rides, and they do like neighborhood rides and tours, and then we have the tours that are now coming through, which are pretty awesome, about not just the food tours, but there's history of LA tours.
Oh, okay.
Because people don't think of LA, they don't think of LA as being a hometown, they don't think of LA as having a lot of history. Not just the gold, there's a lot of history here that has nothing to do with Hollywood, but just people thriving and surviving and inventing and ingenuity and building, because this is a relatively new city compared to cities on the East Coast, and probably even San Francisco. San Francisco, I think, is older than LA. So as far as it being a big metropolitan city. So yeah.
I do have a question about the colors, because LA is a very you gotta be careful of what you wear type of situation. But I'm pretty sure these aren't meant for those purposes. But how do you go about if customers decide to wear one color over the other? If they've ever had that question, how would you?
They have. So someone said they liked the red, but they didn't grow up in a neighborhood where people wore red. Yeah. And I completely understood that. I said I didn't meet anyone who wore red until I was in high school. So there is still a gang influence in Los Angeles. It's just not as dangerous as it used to be. And I think that, maybe eventually it'll become I don't want to say like a club, but it's not the same. Like Nipsey would wear red and he would wear blue. He wasn't defined or confined to wearing just specific colors. But if you are in that life and you present in that life, then yes, you have to be more wary of what you're wearing. And a lot of it is more hats than it is the color of a sweatshirt.
I see. Okay, that's another conversation, but
that is,
everything else is fair game here.
Yes, it does say LA native big on the front, so it's like they know exactly what you're representing and
who you got it from.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you all for watching episode 23 with JDTV. There was so much more good conversation that was not recorded, unfortunately, but stay tuned for more future episodes with Odessa and other South LA business owners and community members as we talk about LA preparation for the Olympics and the beauty and the misconceptions and the real truth about South Los Angeles and celebrating the accomplishments of the community. So stay tuned.